Okay, buddy, first question. I want to ask you some kind of nostalgic question. 10 years ago, in an interview with Lee Orden, he asked you, you black hat, you white hat, and you said you don't consider yourself an SEO at all. Do you consider yourself it today?
No, I'm not an SEO in terms of you can't pay me to do SEO services on your website. I don't do link building. I don't do content development. I might give you some like advice, you know, fix this, fix that, but I don't really. It's not a part of what my business is. Obviously I write a lot about it. I write about it on Search Engine Land and Search Engine Roundtable. I run conferences about it. But I don't necessarily or directly sell SEO services like you would see from an SEO company or an SEO expert. I just try to stay away from that just because, again, when I write, I want to be as unbiased as possible. And by selling the service of SEO services, I feel there's some type of bias in terms of your writing. Thankfully, I do have other businesses where I make the bulk of my money in terms of custom web development, mobile development, and some software that I sell on the mobile devices as well as web software. But when it comes to SEO, I definitely do not consider myself an SEO.
Our today conference is on web analytics and usability. What are your favorite tools on it? Do you use any?
I'm sorry, that did not come out.
Okay.
Well, can you say that again?
What your favorite tools on web analytic tools and tools on usability?
So some of my favorite tools on web analytics and usability. So I like a lot, obviously, Google Analytics. There's probably no webmaster out there that would say they don't use Google Analytics. Everybody uses it pretty much that I know of. But in terms of analysis, in terms of what I like to look at, outside of the Google Webmaster Tools, Google Analytics, and all the various Google tools about mobile friendliness and usability, outside of those, I like a lot to look at the search metrics to see, you know, how seriously impacted a large or even small site was regarding a certain algorithm with Google. So Google search metrics basically looks at your SEO or search visibility, and it pretty accurately, in most cases, tells you how well a website, especially a larger website, is doing in terms of the rankings and if it improved or decreased over time. And it's pretty spot on in terms of my analysis of what I've seen. So I like looking at search metrics to see, you know, did eBay get hit? Did Amazon get hit? And stuff like that in terms of algorithms. In terms of other tools I'm playing around with, obviously, no, not so obvious. SimilarWeb is, I think they're an Israeli company. They do a pretty cool job in terms of trying to measure not just search data and search traffic, but everything from social, referral, and everything like that, including mobile apps, which is a pretty nice tool. I like for looking at links when you try to dig into why a site might have got penalized or what's going on. I like looking at Majestic. I like looking at Hrefs, Moz, Open Site Explorer, and stuff like that. So all those tools I find to be fairly useful in analyzing, at least in terms of what I write about in penalties and Google penalties, analyzing if a site got hit or not. Obviously, I don't always have access to their direct analytics, so I don't always have access to Google Analytics for eBay or whatever. But those tools definitely give you competitive knowledge on what's going on with a website.
Okay, thanks. About your project, SEO Roundtable, it's one of the most important blogs, SEO blogs in the world, and you are founder, as I understand, and it seems to me it's kind of you single-handedly doing, because you have such a lot of stuff, and it's every day a lot of stuff going on. In the blog itself as a project, do you measure any key performance indicators? And if you do, which one of them? And generally speaking, what would be analytics for particular news site project or blog? What analytics would you use?
So I heard most of that. Basically, you're asking if on the Search Engine Roundtable, which analytics tool would I use for blogging? Which would I use for blogging software?
Would you consider some particular analytics which are better for blog project? Do you measure your SEO Roundtable is your blog? Do you measure anything? Do you measure your key performance indicators there?
Right. So I primarily use Google Analytics for both Search Engine Roundtable and Search Engine Land. Um, but the key performance indicators that I look at are a few things. Obviously, traffic. I look at my Google traffic and overall traffic. I look at the referrals. I look at social engagement, like are people sharing stuff or plus oneing or whatever. Tweeting things, posting on Twitter. Those are very important metrics in terms of are people sharing my stories on Twitter, on Facebook, and so forth. I look at the traffic that type of stuff drives.